discrimination and women empowerment. While you were speaking, ma'am, I just went through your participants and I was happy to notice that there are many male members also.
Yes.
So when we have a gender sensitization program, and if male members join, nothing like that. So welcome all the male members to this short-term course. And then I saw that you have some of the participants are from outside Maharashtra also.
Yes, madam. Yes.
uh, yes. So I will be speaking bilingual, Hindi, English both. And yes, someone has just switched on the
Madam.
video. If you could switch on your videos from time to time, it feels nice to see someone. Otherwise, it feels as if I'm speaking to a machine, the computer, the laptop. I'm speaking to that. So if you could just on and off, I know it is a data consuming thing, but then if possible, please do it. And please put in your questions in the chat box. I'll take up the questions as I finish so that the session goes uninterrupted. जो भी आपको लिखना है, पूछना है, आई एम देयर फॉर यू. जो मेरे अपने जो with limited knowledge that I have, I'll be sharing it with you. And gender is very close to my heart. And today I will remove some of the myths and misconceptions about gender. And since this is the second session, you just had an introduction session. So today's class or today's this lecture will be on introduction to gender first. Before gender discrimination, what is gender? How is it different from sex? Are they two related? What is gender diversity? What is gender discrimination? Then we come to women empowerment, because empowerment follows when you have those misconceptions clear. So many people, when they come for this gender sensitization course, they just come out of curiosity without knowing actually what gender is about. Gender is a very big area. And today we talk about gender not only in terms of male and female, we also talk about gender in terms of LGBTQIA and sometimes plus two and all. So all this leads towards one thing, that is inclusivity. And NEP also talks about inclusivity. So my next lecture will be day after tomorrow, where I will talk about gender diversity in higher education institution. But today we will talk basically on what gender is and why we are talking about discrimination. Is there any discrimination? What is gender equality? What is gender equity? All these things will be discussed today. Okay, so I'll just start sharing my slides. सबको दिख रहा है ना? It's okay?
Yes, madam. It is
Visible?
clear. Yeah.
Okay.
Kindly make it
Okay.
slideshow.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's in slideshow only.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, ma'am? Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So the first thing that we need to discuss today is what is gender and how it is different from sex. Usually what happens, we try to एक ही साथ बोलते हैं या what is your sex, meaning that both are synonymous. One can be replaced by the other, but this is not so. So the first myth that we are going to break is that gender is different from sex. Sex is a biological construct. It's a concept which is totally biological. You are born biologically with a type of anatomy which will determine whether you are a male or a female, and that is your sex. What is gender? Gender is a social construct. Now, what is a social construct? What is a biological construct? Many people must be wondering. दिमाग में आता होगा कि क्या है ये. हम सोशल कंस्ट्रक्ट बोल रहे हैं, यानी सामाजिक रूप, और biological construct is a जैविक रूप. What is the difference between these two? The main difference between these two is that Gender comes to us from the society. Yeah. Okay, I'll keep my
हेलो
video.
हाँ
हाँ,
यस
yes,
मैडम,
ma'am.
इंटरमिटेंट वॉइस ब्रेक हो रहा है, तो आप वीडियो ऑफ करेंगे तो मे बी वो इश्यू सॉल्व हो जाए।
Okay. I'll do that.
यस मैम।
Thank you, ma'am. I'll do that. Just a moment. इसमें
मैम स्टॉप शेयरिंग करके ना आपको दिखेगा, वो शेयर जब करते हैं ना स्क्रीन तब
हाँ
थोड़ी
हाँ
दिक्कत
हाँ.
आती है। यस मैम।
अच्छा, अभी हम शायद
हाँ यस
इस
मैडम, नाउ वीडियो इज ऑफ।
वीडियो इज ऑफ ना.
या
तो इसको हम अभी एनलार्ज करना है ना मेरे को. स्टॉप शेयरिंग कर देते हैं. स्टॉप शेयरिंग कहाँ से होगा मैम?
मैडम आप कर्सर ना थोड़ा हेडर की तरफ लेके जाइए, एक ऑरेंज
हाँ.
स्ट्रिप दिखेगी आपको, वहीं पे
हम्म.
स्टॉप का ऑप्शन होगा।
स्टॉप तो दिख नहीं रहा है मैम. एक
अदरवाइज
मिनट.
मैडम स्क्रीन इज विजिबल टू ऑल ऑफ अस।
बट फुल स्क्रीन है क्या?
यस मैडम, फुल स्क्रीन है।
ओके, तब तो बहुत अच्छा है. हमको फुल स्क्रीन नहीं लग रहा है इसीलिए.
ओके
लेकिन
मैडम, आप
मैम,
स्लाइड एक बार चेंज करके देखिए। नाउ द शेयरिंग इज ऑफ। नाउ शेयरिंग इज
शेयरिंग
ऑफ।
इज ऑफ. ओके. तो अभी मैं शेयर, क्योंकि ना फुल स्क्रीन होने से ही मेरे लिए,
हाँ
क्योंकि बाद में आई हैव अ मूवी विच
ओके।
आई वांट टू. अभी अभी दिख रहा है.
जी मैम।
ओके.
यस।
सो एज आई वाज सेइंग कि जेंडर जो है वो एक अ, सामाजिक एक रूप है. इट इज अ social construct. Gender is given to us by the society, by the family. What do you mean by society or family? It means that the gender is fixed by the family, which wants to show the person who is born, the baby, wants to give that baby a, an identity. Now, इसको थोड़ा और विस्तार में बताते हैं. First and foremost, the term gender was actually introduced by Simone de Beauvoir in 1960. Simone de Beauvoir was the first person who spoke about gender, and she is the one who said that gender is a social construct, which means that the gender identity is an individual's self-conception as a man or a woman, or a combination of both, or someone who is neither a man nor a woman, or someone who is outside the category altogether. So many things I'm saying. I'm saying that a person can be a man, a person can be a woman, a person can be a combination of both, a person can be neither a man nor a woman, a person can be outside this category. So it is different from the biological sex, which only says whether a person is a male or a female. So when a person is born in the hospital, right after the birth, it is written whether it's a male child or a female child. There is no other scope for anything else. जब वो बच्चा बड़ा होने लगता है, till the age of 3, that child does not know anything except his own anatomy, except his own body. उसने सिर्फ अपने आप को देखा है. उसको ये पता नहीं है कि दूसरे कि bodies कैसे होते हैं और whether the person is different from others, ये उनको पता नहीं होता. But it is the family members who tell him or her that you are a girl or you are a boy. जब बच्चे लड़के होते हैं तो खिलौना भी उन जैसे होता है. You give toys, like you give cars, you give guns, you give other toys, boy toys to the boys. And you give dolls, you give a kitchen set and all those things to the girls. So it is the society, the family that is making the difference at this age. So in the mind of the child, it is clear that the child is different from the other child because the child is playing with a toy which is different from the other person's toy. After that, when the child starts going outside and he is dressed up by his family, then the family will dress him up. If he's a boy, he will be dressed up as a boy. If he's a girl, he will be dressed up as a girl. She'll be dressed up as a girl. तब उसको पता चलता है, okay, this is how a boy dresses up, this is how a girl dresses up. तो उसके दिमाग में उस खिलौने के साथ आइडेंटिटी, उस ड्रेस के साथ आइडेंटिटी, और उसे पता चल जाता है that this is my identity. I am a boy and I will play with these things or I will dress up like this. And that's why I'm different from the other person who dresses up differently. In many countries like in America or in the Western world, they have different colors for male child and female child. नीला रंग मेल चाइल्ड के लिए होता है और पिंक कलर एसोसिएट करते हैं फीमेल चाइल्ड के लिए. इसलिए अगर फीमेल चाइल्ड आने वाली है तो पूरा कमरा पिंक से सजाया जाता है. ये उनका मानना है कि लड़की है तो पिंक डेलिकेट, लड़का है तो ब्लू. तो ये सारी चीजें दिमाग में घुसाया जाता है उस बच्चे के भी दिमाग में. नाउ व्हेन द चाइल्ड इज एन एडोलेसेंट, जब वो बड़ा हो जाता है, then his hormones starts speaking. He notices that there are certain changes in his body. So he is aware of those changes. And he knows that whether his body and his mind, they are moving in the same direction. It may so happen that his body may be that of a boy, but in his mind, he may feel that he is a girl. तब क्या होगा? तब maybe he would like to color his nails, he would like to wear earrings, he would like to wear finger rings, he would like to grow long nails or long hair, जो लड़कियां करती है. और तब जाके सोसाइटी उसको क्या कहता है, that you are different, that means you are abnormal. That is what the society is saying. He or she is not abnormal. Just because his mind and his body are not in the same direction, they're not moving in the same direction, does not mean that he is abnormal or she is abnormal. Because the person's mind can sometimes rule the body. Now, that brings me to the next part. Are gender and sex related? So, yes, when a person is born, the identity is fixed by the hospital at the time of birth by biological factors. Identity is constituted or rather expressed by continuous process of gendered behavior. So the behavior, the action, the speech, that will say whether the person whose body resembles a man is behaving like a man, or whose body is resembling a woman is behaving like a woman. I hope I am clear. And if there are any questions, please put in the chat box. Okay. So I move on to the third part, that is the gender identity. Now in this, I have put gender identity, where at one extreme is a woman, at another extreme is a man. The person who is there in between a man and a woman, that is neither a man nor a woman, is often said as gender queer. So LGBTQ is Q stands for queer. Then the sexual orientation. Sexual orientation comes from what the person feels about another person. Whether the person is feeling to has some feeling towards the same sex, then it is homosexuality. Sometimes a person may be heterosexual, maybe having same type of orientation or feeling towards same sex and the opposite sex. So a man might have feeling towards a man also, might have the same feeling towards a woman also, and that is called a heterosexual person. A person may not have any sexual preferences, and that is an asexual person, in between a homosexual person who has orientation towards the same sex and a heterosexual person who has orientation towards both the sex, lies the asexual person who has no orientation towards any sex. Then comes gender expression. Gender expression is how you would like to show yourself. Whether you would like to present yourself as a feminine, whether you would like to present yourself as a masculine, or whether you are androgynous. Androgynous is a person who likes to dress up as the opposite sex. यानी कि कोई आदमी अगर साड़ी पहनना पसंद करता है, घाघरा पहनना पसंद करता है, या कोई लड़की अगर ड्रेसअप करती है एज अ मैन, दैट इज नोन एज एंड्रोगाइनस. एंड्रोगाइनस मीन्स व्हेन यू जस्ट, आपका कोई सेक्सुअल ओरिएंटेशन से लेना देना नहीं है, you just want to dress up like that because you feel happy about it. So there are many drag queens in Mumbai. There are many people who move about, many men who move about in high society dressed up as females. They wear lipstick, they wear gowns, and they have long nails, they have long hair maybe, they color their hair, and they use eyeshadow and all those makeup things. They are queer and kindness. They just
Ma'am, you are not audible.
यस सर, मैडम की आवाज थोड़ी ब्रेक हो रही है, प्लीज वेट. हेलो पार्टिसिपेंट्स, आपको मैडम की आवाज आ रही है क्या?
नो मैम.
नहीं
नो
नहीं
मैम.
ओके
नहीं
ओके,
मैम.
जस्ट मिनट. ओके, वेट करिए थोड़ा.
हेलो, कैन यू हियर मी? प्रोफेसर प्रीति मैडम, कैन यू हियर मी? हेलो.
मैम अभी क्या ठीक है? अभी वॉइस
यस
ब्रेक कर
मैडम,
रहा है?
अभी आवाज आ
अभी
रही है
better?
मैडम, बीच में
अभी
नहीं आ
ठीक
रही
है, अभी
था,
ठीक है.
शेयरिंग भी स्टॉप
अच्छा
हो गई.
अच्छा.
हेलो.
मैं एयरटेल गया था तो मुझे लग रहा था कि टुडे एयरटेल इज नॉट सपोर्टिंग, तो मैंने जियो कनेक्शन में कर दिया है. तो यहाँ पर ना संदीप जी, आपका कोई सवाल था संदीप जी?
No, ma'am. Only matter of voice.
Okay, okay. So, am I clear? When I'm saying all
Yes,
these
ma'am.
things, I hope I'm clear. If you have any questions, I'll take it up at the end. Okay. So I'll keep my video off and I'll keep sharing my screen.
यस मैम.
So I go back to the screen. I was sharing this. Yeah. So this is This is what I was doing. इसके बाद हम चले जाते हैं इस पर. So it was previously LGBTQ. Now it's LGBTQIA. So IA is I stands for intersex and A stands for asexual. So I just mentioned in my previous slide, I mentioned what an intersex is and what an asexual is. Now they have also been included in LGBTQ. Yeah. Because you see, when this movement started in the West, it was something to do with human rights. They said that everyone has the right to express his or her own identity. Now, if I am a woman, but I want to be termed as a man, I have every right to do so because it's my mind, it's my body, it's my identity. So that was the logic. And that is what led to human rights and then trans rights. And this is going on in the West. And now even India has taken up this issue. और हमारे सोसाइटी में अभी बहुत कुछ बदलाव आ गया है. ऐसा नहीं है कि पहले जो होता था वो अभी होता है. अभी society has become more open. Then you know something, that when we talk about this gender identity and gender diversity, now gender identity will develop by means of parental example. Parents will say that, see, you are a boy, you will behave like a boy. Like they say na, जो boys होते हैं वो रोते नहीं हैं, they should be tough. So who tells that? The parents tell them. It's the parental guidance. Then the societal reinforcement. If you are staying in a society and if you are a tomboy, like if you are a girl और आपका behavior tomboyish है, then people will start criticizing you. They will say that no, आप तो लड़के जैसे behave करते हो. So that is something, that the society will reinforce about your identity. And then there's something called sex appropriate behavior. So what is sex appropriate behavior? The girl will behave in a certain manner. She will not stay out late in the night. She will come home by 10 o'clock maybe. The parents will put this for the girl. The rule will be set for the girl कि आप 10 बजे तक घर आ जाओ. लड़का जो है वो बाहर काफी देर तक रह सकता है. No problem with that. Because the parents are maybe scared of what about the security of the girl. Then there is something called language use. You know what? In Hindi, we use the verb वो करता है and करती है. करता है is a male, pulling, and करती है is striling. And in Bengali, I am a Bengali. In Bengali, you don't have this gender, but in other languages, many languages, you have this gender, and which is associated with the verb. So what happens is the language that we speak, when we say he or she, that also identifies a person. If we say it's a he, then the person, we mean that there's something in the mind. हम सोचने लगते हैं कि वो लड़का है तो उसका बिहेवियर ऐसा होगा, उसकी वॉइस ऐसी होगी, उसकी पर्सनालिटी ऐसी होगी. And when we have a girl, just the opposite happens. Now, in the 20th century, people started to realize that this gender cannot be binary. Binary means either a male or a female. So they felt that no, we can't have binary, we can't have either a male or a female. A person can be neither a male nor a female, as I said earlier, or a person can be both. So people have said that identities cannot be binary. So in English, they have started using the term as they, them, their, instead of he, she, like that, or it. So it's like that they have. And these, the usage of this language actually helps to avoid attributing a false gender identity to the person. So what happens if a person is a male and has undergone a sex change operation and has become a female? How do I address that person? So the name itself, supposing the name is a feminine name, the person has taken up पहले उसका नाम था आशीष, अभी उसका नाम हो गया अंशु में भी. So आशीष से अंशु हो गया. आशीष was a man. Anshu has become a woman. So I will refer to her as she. तो अभी उसके उसके appearance से उसका gender determine होता है. Okay. Now when we talk about diversity, we are including the non-binary form of gender. That means we are including those people who do not fall into the binary category also, and that will make gender more diverse. And when we have diverse gender, it means that the society is inclusive. There is nothing to hide. किसी को अपने आइडेंटिटी को हाइड ही नहीं करना है. Everyone is free to flaunt his or her identity. If a person is a male and wishes to be, wishes to come out as a female, then the person can do so. So that is gender diversity. Moving on, I come to a very, very important term, that is patriarchy. Patriarchy क्या है? Patriarchy is about social relations of power between man and woman, women and women, and men and men. So whoever is having the power, that person is known as the patriarch. Supposing there is a family. In that family, the mother holds command. It is she who decides क्या खाना बनेगा, कहाँ पर इन्वेस्टमेंट करना पड़ेगा, किसकी शादी कब होगी, कब पूजा होगी, बच्चे का नामकरण कब होगा. Everything is decided by a woman. Then the woman is the patriarch of the family. So it is actually nothing to do with gender or sex. It is the social relation of power. Why I am talking about patriarchy? Because until and unless you understand patriarchy, you will not be able to understand discrimination. Gender discrimination, जो कि हमारा मेन टॉपिक है. हमारे मेन टॉपिक जेंडर डिस्क्रिमिनेशन को समझने के लिए पेट्रियार्की का समझना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. Then there is, it may not be, patriarchy may not be related to only gender. It may be related to race. It may be related to class. It may be related to heterosexual privilege. So everything, and when it is related to gender and class and caste, for example, the person who is working in your house, you do not give the person certain advantage. So you are exercising your power. उसको छुट्टी नहीं दे रहे हैं, उसका पैसा काट रहे हैं. So what are you doing? You are relying on a crude form of oppression. So there might be oppression, there may not be oppression. There may be oppression which is evident, like violence. Sometimes there is domestic violence where the husband is beating up the wife, or the mother-in-law is beating up the daughter-in-law. So that is a violence, a form of oppression. In either cases, when the husband is beating the wife, it is the male patriarchy. When a mother-in-law is beating the daughter-in-law, it is the female patriarchy. And there may be subtle ones like laws. When you have laws saying that women cannot do certain work, what are you doing? You are trying to perpetuate inequality. For example, till recently, we did not have women in Air Force. तो आपने देखा होगा, अभी मूवीज बनी हैं कि women are now joining Air Force. और अभी नहीं, आज से 10-20 साल पहले से they have started joining Air Force. लेकिन उससे पहले in the 50s and 60s, we did not have women in Air Force. We did not have women in army. And even if they were in army, they were not sent to the front. They were debarred from certain jobs. Now, when you make laws that prevents a woman from taking up a job, then you are perpetuating inequality. आप असमानता ला रहे हैं. जब ऐसा रूल बना रहे हैं, ऐसे नियम बनाते हैं जहां पर महिलाओं को वो सारे प्रिविलेजेस नहीं मिलते हैं जो कि एक जेंट को मिलना चाहिए। आप उन्हें रोक रहे हैं कोई भी जॉब लेने से पहले। Now, patriarchy is a structural force that influences power relation. So, it may be abusive power, it may be not abusive power, as I've already said. तो पेट्रियार्की को समझना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, एंड वेरी ऑफन I have discussions on whether it's always the men who are dominating or oppressing the women, and my answer is no. Men are not responsible alone for oppression, क्योंकि हर we cannot generalize, हर मर्द एक जैसा नहीं होता, हर औरत एक जैसी नहीं होती. So now I come to the most important thing, that एम्पावरमेंट. एम्पावरमेंट है क्या? क्या नौकरी कर लेना ही एम्पावरमेंट है? नहीं. क्या शिक्षा प्राप्त कर लेना एम्पावरमेंट है? नो. क्या एम्पावरमेंट ये है कि आपको पार्लियामेंट में सीट्स रिजर्व किए जाएं आपके लिए, या आपको पंचायत में सीट्स रिजर्व किए जाएं? नो. Whether a girl should be educated and the government is giving a lot of funds to a particular state for educating the girl, is that empowerment? No. Empowerment is actually an important goal, and it is a process. Process means you can't just say that, okay, I have empowered this person. No. It is a continuous process, and the process has both the person who is empowering and the person who is getting empowered. दोनों वहां होते हैं, और ये प्रोसेस चलता रहता है, ये खत्म ना होने वाला प्रोसेस है. अगर हम कह दे कि ओके आई एम एम्पावर्ड, देन इट इज रॉन्ग, बिकॉज कल को I might be in a challenging situation, and then I might feel that I'm helpless. So where is my empowerment? I may have lots of financial support, or I may have a job, I may have a house, property, car, everything. But mentally, I may be controlled by my husband or my father-in-law or the male members or the brother or anyone. So I will not be empowered in spite of having so much. Then the third is, it talks about access. उसको वहां तक पहुंचना है. The person should reach that part where everything is available. When you talk about access, like you say that, okay, I am opening a girls' college in this area. Why? Because this area has plenty of girls who are uneducated. But what about access? Will the girls be able to go to college? क्या उनको जाने की अनुमति मिलेगी उनके घर वालों से? Will they have to walk for 10 kilometers to go to the college? अगर उनको हम एक कॉलेज 10 किलोमीटर दूर बना के देते हैं, तो वो तो कभी पहुंच ही नहीं पाएंगे. एवरी डे तो जा ही नहीं पाएंगे, 10 किलोमीटर कोई चल नहीं पाएगा. सो आई एम नॉट प्रोवाइडिंग अ बस ऑल्सो. सो what am I doing? I am saying that, see, I have given you a college, I have given you teachers, I have given you a library, I have given you everything. But I have not ensured whether you will be able to reach your college every day. So it talks about access. हम सबके लिए खाना देते हैं. Every government has a scheme of giving food to the people below poverty level. क्या हम ये assure करते हैं that the women in the family also get the same share of food? No, we don't do that. If it is 5 kgs of rice per family, we don't even bother to find out whether the women in the family are getting to eat any rice or not, or whether they are surviving on the mar, the rice water. So it is, just talking about empowerment is not sufficient. We have to give access. Theorizing of empowerment stresses on two main perspectives. One is the individual and the other is the collective. Individually, one should feel empowered, and collectively also, because you're staying in a society, you're staying in a family, you are part of that. So you should feel that you are empowered collectively also. One individual alone in a society cannot be empowered. We have to empower the society to empower the women in the society. Now, empowerment can be differentiated in 3 different dimensions. And what are they? They are personal, relational, with respect to others, and societal. So, when you are dividing or categorizing empowerment, that has uh, three parts. One is the personal. Personal empowerment is when a person feels empowered. Okay, that comes with what? That comes with certain rights, that comes with education, that comes with finances. So person feels empowered. Secondly, the person must feel powered with relation to the members of his family and the community also. Supposing the person is educated, has access to wealth, but still cannot decide on herself, then the person is not empowered. I'll just explain it a little more simply. कोई भी औरत अगर पढ़ी लिखी हो, उसके पास पैसा हो, उसके पास सब कुछ है, फिर भी वो एम्पावर्ड नहीं हो सकती अगर उसका माहौल वैसा नहीं है। जिस परिवार में वो रहती है, जिस कम्युनिटी में वो रहती है, वो लोग अगर उसको एवरी डे दे मेक हर फील दैट शी इज वल्नरेबल, एम्पावर्ड नहीं है, तो वो नहीं कर सकती है, वो कभी भी एम्पावर्ड नहीं हो सकती है। सोसाइटी का बहुत बड़ा रोल होता है किसी को एम्पावर करने में। सिर्फ हमने शिक्षा संस्थान खोल दिए, स्कूल्स कॉलेजेस खोल दिए, हमने हेल्थ का एक्सेस दे दिया, दैट विमेन कैन हैव डिलीवरी इन द हॉस्पिटल, इंस्टीट्यूशनल डिलीवरी कर दिया, बट दैट विल नॉट make a woman fully empowered. The women should have decision making power. उसको क्या करना है अपने साथ, अपने जिंदगी के साथ, that should be decided by the woman. So the last thing is the ability to make strategic life choices in a context where this ability was previously denied to them. So what are you doing? You're making strategic life choices. You can make your own choice, you can make your own decision, and you have every right to do so. That will make you empowered. Previously, it was denied to them. आप क्या खाओगे, आप क्या पहनोगे, आप कहाँ तक पढ़ोगे, आपकी शादी कब होगी, आप यहाँ जाओगे कि वहां जाओगे, आप ये जॉब करोगे या नहीं करोगे, everything if it's decided by someone else and not by you, you are not the decision maker, that means you are not empowered. I guess, see, all of you are working people, all of you are teachers, but just ask yourself, and we'll take it up in the chat box after this. How many of you have total control over your own finances? जितनी भी महिलाएं यहाँ पर है, क्या आपका पूरा कंट्रोल है आपके फाइनेंसेस पर, और इज इट कंट्रोल्ड बाय द men in the family? You can put your answer in the chat box, and this should be a this program, because क्या है ना कि एक तरफा बोलने से ये होना चाहिए, ये नहीं होना चाहिए, that will not make any sense when we discuss. And ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है? When we discuss that will help us to become better individuals. So now I come to gender-based discrimination. There is a lot of gender-based discrimination, not only in our country, but all over the world. So just I have put in some headlines. 750 million girls married before the age of 18. This is largely in Southeast Asia, in Arabian countries, in Africa, where women are not educated. They are not sent to schools, they're not sent to colleges. They get married before the age of 18. So the body is not in a proper condition to become, to embrace motherhood. But क्या होता है कि once the girls are married, they automatically settle down in domesticity and children rearing. In 18 countries, husbands can legally prevent their wives from working. I'm not talking about India. There are many countries, if you Google, you will know that there are many countries in the world where the husbands can prevent wives from working. So whether the wife is educated or not, whether the wife wants to work or not, will depend totally on the whims and fancies of the husband. In 39 countries, sons and daughters do not have equal inheritance. Now, this is another very common thing. You know why we don't like girl children? Because we have in our mind that a girl comes with a lot of expense. To get a girl married, you need to give a lot of dowry. You have to spend a lot on her education. You have to spend a lot on her marriage. And then, so why should I give some inheritance to my daughter? So daughter will not get any inheritance. It is the son who will get inheritance. But the law should be framed in such a way that sons and daughters should have equal inheritance. You don't have to spend on her marriage, or if you're spending on your daughter's education, and you're also spending on your son's education. So treat them as equals, give them equal inheritance. The problem will be solved then and there. Then women's representation in the world parliament is only 23%, which is less than 1/4 of the total population. Sorry. So it means that women are not there in the decision making, the highest, the helm of power. They are not there. So if you don't have women representative of the total population sitting on top and taking and making decisions, then you can't go ahead. There will be gender-based discrimination. So women's empowerment has 5 components. What are they? First is a woman's sense of self-worth. She should feel worthy. She should feel that, yes, I am someone. She should be happy of her existence. She should be happy of her identity as a woman, and she should flaunt it with pride. So a woman's sense of self-worth, उसको बचपन से ही अगर हम ये कहें कि आप अलग हो, आप बहुत अच्छे हो, आप बहुत कुछ कर सकती हो, आप बहुत वर्दी हो, a person's self-esteem will go up and a woman needs that to be empowered. अगर हम उसको continuously दबा के रखेंगे, तो एक दिन ना एक दिन that volcano has to erupt. So, in order to have a peaceful society, a woman's sense of self-worth should be appreciated. Second is the right to have and determine choices. That's very important. Women usually are not in the decision-making body. They don't make their own life choices. उनको पता भी नहीं होता है कि क्या करना है, what career to take up, what subject to take up, what job to take up, how many children to have. Decide for the children also, nothing. It is the man of the house who makes the decision. So a woman should have the right to determine her own choices, whether she is visiting the doctor. If she has a health issue, she should, she should be empowered enough to go to the doctor. She should not wait for a male member to decide on her behalf whether she needs to see a doctor or not. If she doesn't want to have a child, it is her choice. No one can force her. So these are small things, but these nuances matter a lot. Third is the right to have access to opportunities and resources. When we had this online classes during COVID, उस समय हम लोगों ने देखा था कि in a family which had one mobile, usually the mobile was given to the son so that he could attend online classes. वहां पर girl को, the daughter did not get access to the mobile because the father did not have 2 mobiles. The father just had 1 mobile and he decided to give it to the son because it is the son who is going to clear the exam and then maybe get a job and then maybe look after the family. A girl is always considered to be an expenditure. So a girl जैसे तैसे आप पास हो जाओ और नहीं भी पास हो जाओगी तो आपको हम शादी करा देंगे और मेरी जिम्मेदारी वहां खत्म हो जाती है. So you're not giving her access to opportunities. आप हर घर में देखेंगे, even in villages, आप देखेंगे that if there are, a limited number of non-veg items, अगर चिकन है तो चिकन का लेग पीस लड़के को दिया जाता है, लड़की को नहीं दिया जाता, because always the brother of the family is saying that मुझे लड़का, and maybe he is the only one in the family. There are 3 other girls. तो सबको तो लेग पीस नहीं दिया जा सकता. It is better to give to the boy. या फिर if there is, non-veg items like fish and meat and all, the bigger piece goes to the boy, goes to the men of the family. The women, they love to deprive themselves from all this. Then the right to have power to control their own lives within and outside the home. This is very, very important. We have absolutely no power to control our lives, whether it is financial power or whether it is social power, psychological power, any type of power. The women do not have the power to control their lives. In the house, it is the khana is made according to the men in the family, whatever the men prefer to have. Okay, then the expenditure is controlled by the men in the family because they are earning. So it's usually like that. Now, I'm not generalizing. हर जगह ऐसा नहीं होता है. There are lots of homes where women are empowered, where the men make the women empowered. यहाँ मैं, please remember this, that I'm saying it. It is the men of the house that can make the women empowered, and they do it. Then the ability to influence the direction of social change. Now, if you have empowered women in the society, then you can create more just social and economic order, both nationally and internationally. So this is something which is very good. Now I talk about missing women. Now you see in the slide, there's Professor Amartya Sen. He's a Nobel laureate, and he spoke about missing women, 50 million missing women. Now, we all know that Amartya Sen, he won the Nobel Prize. He was an economist, and he wrote in his book, the name of the book is Development and Freedom. He wrote in his book that there are women who are missing in millions from the total population of Asian countries on the basis of various assumptions. He calculated that this is because of excessive female mortality due to gender biasness that account for 6 to 11% deficiency in the total number of women. So he termed this as a terrible story of inequality and neglect. इसको अगर साफ हिंदी में कहा जाए तो अमर्त्य सेन जो कि एक नोबेल लॉरेट थे, इकोनॉमिस्ट थे, उन्होंने डेवलपमेंट एंड फ्रीडम जैसी किताब में ये कहा है कि there are missing women, 50 million missing women in Asian countries. कुछ महिलाएं गायब है. और ये उन्होंने कैसे कैलकुलेट किया? उन्होंने देखा कि एशियाई देशों में फीमेल मोर्टेलिटी यानी महिलाओं की मृत्यु अधिकतर होती है, और वो इसलिए होता है बिकॉज ऑफ जेंडर बायसनेस. 6 to 11% डेफिशिएंसी रहता है. It's not equal. Like if there are 100 men, there should be 100 women. भगवान ने एक आदम और एक हवा को ही बनाया था, one man and one woman. So every man should be equal to every woman. There should be equal number of men and women. लेकिन ऐसा नहीं होता है. ऐसा इसलिए नहीं होता है because हम उन women पर ध्यान नहीं देते हैं. They are not present in the society because of gender biasness. हम इतनी biased हो जाते हैं towards men that we treat our women with inequality, we treat our women with neglect. हम उनकी तरफ ध्यान नहीं देते हैं. तो उन्होंने ये कहा कि the actual population sex ratio और expected population sex ratio, यानी कि कितना सेक्स, what is sex ratio? Sex ratio is the number of women per 1000 men. तो हमारे देश में सेक्स रेशियो इज अराउंड 2011 की जनगणना के अनुसार it was 940 female per 1000 men. So that is the actual population sex ratio. And what is the expected population sex ratio? Expected population sex ratio should be 1000 women per 1000 men. सेम होना है ना, तो 1000 होना चाहिए था, है कितना 940, तो 60 women will go missing. ये 60 women कहाँ चली गई? They are the missing women. These women should have been alive. So, but actually how many are alive? 940 are alive. 1000 alive होना चाहिए था, कितने alive है? 940, which means 60 women are going on missing. And that he calculated for everyone, and he found that it is 50 million missing women. So, isn't it interesting? I'll just stop sharing, because you know what happens after some time. I feel that everyone has gone to sleep. So I'll just take in a few questions or a few suggestions before I move on to the next part. किसी को कुछ भी any inputs from your side? मुझे लग रहा है कि आप लोग सब खा पी के सो गए हैं.
No,
आप
ma'am.
जा, you're all there.
ये बोलिए मैडम, आवाज आ रही है, बोलिए.
नो मैम,
हम तो सिर्फ
आवाज
सुन रहे
से
हैं ना.
आवाज है.
सर,
हम तो सिर्फ सुन रहे हैं ना, बोलिए.
सुनील यशवंत सर बोलेंगे
हाँ
तो
बोलिए
हाँ,
मैडम.
हम तो बोलने के लिए यहाँ बैठे हैं सर. आप लोगों से भी
हाँ हाँ
सुनना
हाँ.
चाहते हैं, आप लोगों
नहीं,
से भी हम
प्रॉब्लम ये
सुनना
है ना,
चाहते
क्योंकि
हैं.
यहाँ का डिस्टर्बेंस आपको फिर प्रॉब्लम करेगा ना, इसलिए हम केवल सुन रहे हैं.
ठीक है, आपको आपको
और
जो बोलना है, अगर आपको कोई सवाल पूछना था
हाँ,
तो
चैट
आप
में
उसको
डाल सकते हैं.
हाँ, आप उसको चैट बॉक्स में दे दीजिए, ठीक है.
ओके,
क्योंकि क्या
ठीक
होता
है.
है ना कि कुछ समय बाद लगता है कि एकदम जो हम लोग कर रहे हैं ना, वो वन वे
हाँ
हो
हाँ
रहा है, और वो ऐसा नहीं होना
हाँ, वही
चाहिए.
ना, नहीं बराबर है.
बराबर है.
ओके, ठीक है ना.
ओके सर.
ठीक है.
सर, ओके, तो नाउ अभी हम बात करेंगे विमेन्स पार्टिसिपेशन. जो महिलाएं हैं उनका पार्टिसिपेशन कितना है. तो हमारी विमेन जो है, हम आधी जनसंख्या महिलाओं की है, हाफ ऑफ टोटल पॉपुलेशन. लेकिन महिलाएं जो काम करती है वो 2/3 ऑफ द वर्किंग आवर्स. दे आर वर्किंग फॉर 2/3, यानी कि 24 घंटे में महिलाएं ज्यादा काम करती हैं पुरुष के मुकाबले में. तो यहाँ पर मैंने हिंदू में एक निकला था पिछले हफ्ते इन द सेंस लास्ट ट्यूसडे, टुडे इज मंडे. सो ऑन 1st of August this article had come out in the Hindu, and here it says women do 7 hours of housework, men under 3 hours. तो महिलाएं 7 घंटा घरों का काम करती है. और ये महिलाएं ऐसा नहीं है कि वो लोग घर पे रहती हैं और घर का काम करती है, बाहर का काम करके आती हैं, फिर घर का काम करती है. और अगर हम दोनों की तुलना करें, विमेन एंड मेन, तो हम ये देखते हैं कि मेन उनसे आधे से भी कम काम करते हैं. 7 घंटा अगर वुमेन काम कर रही है तो मेन 3 घंटा काम कर रहे हैं, जो कि आधे से कम है. और ये बात जो है, ये मैं नहीं बता रही हूँ, हिंदू में 1 अगस्त को ये निकला था. तो अब अगर हम आगे बढ़े तो हम देखते हैं कि इतना काम करने के लिए विमेन का इनकम भी ज्यादा होना चाहिए, बट विमेन रिसीव 1/10 ऑफ द वर्ल्ड्स इनकम, विच इज रियली वेरी लो. उनका एक इनकम डिस्पैरिटी होता है. जो पैसा मेन को मिलता है, विमेन को वो पैसा नहीं मिलता है, उससे कम दाम पे उनको काम कराया जाता है. और सबसे दुख की बात यह है कि दे हैव ownership of less than 100 of the world's property. यानी जो भी प्रॉपर्टी है उसका बहुत कम हिस्सा उनके पास है. So in a way there is discrimination with respect to wages, with respect to salary, with respect to the amount of work that the woman is doing, and with respect to ownership also. Now I come to gender equality versus gender equity. इक्वालिटी वो है जहां हम इक्वल ट्रीटमेंट दे रहे हैं. We say men and women are equal. That is equality. As you can see from the two pictures that I have shown, this is a female, this is a man, and here also woman and a man. They are sitting on both sides of a balance. और आप देखेंगे कि it is balance. इसका मतलब ये है कि equality है. इक्विटी क्या है? इक्विटी है जब आप अपॉर्चुनिटी देते हो, सही अपॉर्चुनिटी, इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटी देते हो. when you are giving them the access to certain things कि हाँ आप ये काम कर सकते हो, that is equality. Sorry, that is equity. So now we need a holistic approach to empowerment. जब हम empowerment की बात करते हैं तो एक नारी को किस तरह से हम empower कर सकते हैं? तो सबसे पहले हम क्या कर सकते हैं? उसको एजुकेशन दे सकते हैं. उसको एजुकेट करके उसके हेल्थ और न्यूट्रिशन पर ध्यान दे सकते हैं. तो इससे क्या होगा? फिजिकली एंड मेंटली अ वुमन विल बी एम्पावर्ड. She will have control over her mind, she will have control over her body also. In addition to that, we give that person some knowledge of skill and technology. उसको ऐसा कुछ सिखाते हैं जो उसको अपने पैरों पे खड़े होने में मदद करेगा. Then we give her access to water and sanitation, because we all know that a woman looks after the house, she looks after her children, so she should have access to clean drinking water, she should have access to sanitation. Then we should give her access to credit. Credit should be easy for the woman. अगर वो credit लेना चाहती है to start her own business, to do something on her own, या to just to look after the family or educate herself, she should have access to credit. और एक होता है political participation, because politically if you are empowered, then you can change the society. You have the power to change the society. You have the power to frame laws that will benefit other women. So political participation is a very nice way to empower a woman. So once you are empowered, then there is nothing to stop you. You deserve the best. So what do? After empowerment, you start doing something which you have always wanted to do, and that will lead you to further empowerment. There are many ways where you can empower yourself. और अगर आप देखोगे कि आपका empowerment जो है वो इतने सारे चीजों पर डिपेंड करता है. फर्स्ट इज द वर्क. आप काम कीजिए. Work will empower you because you're doing some work for yourself and for your family maybe. So that work will be your empowerment. You're stepping out of your comfort zone. Comfort zone से बाहर जाके आप work कर रहे हो and maybe you are reaching your goal. So empowerment is about working and reaching the goal. Empowerment is also about skill and coaching. If you want to take up a skill and you need coaching in that, then there is nothing to stop you from taking up the skill, being coached in that, so that you feel empowered. Empowerment is about decision making. It is about planning. आप डिसीजन खुद ले रहे हो, आपके लाइफ का, आपके परिवार का, घर के अंदर भी ले सकते हो, घर के बाहर भी ले सकते हो. आप प्लान कर सकते हो अपने परिवार का, अपना फ्यूचर आप प्लान कर सकते हो, आप मैनेज कर सकते हो, तब आप एम्पावर्ड हो सकते हो. आप सॉल्यूशन निकाल सकते हो, आप एडवाइजर बन सकते हो या गाइड बन सकते हो. सो दीज आर थिंग्स दैट विल लीड यू टू एम्पावरमेंट. I now come to the success story of Lijjat Papad. Everyone knows how Lijjat Papad started in the 60s. और 80 रुपए से वो बन गया 1600 करोड़ रुपए का कंपनी. So Lijjat Papad is a story of success and women empowerment. महिलाएं एक साथ होकर वो पापड़ बनाने लगी और उस पापड़ को बेचने लगी और वो वर्ल्ड लेवल पे फेमस हो गई। और इस दौरान उन्होंने सिर्फ अपने को एम्पावर नहीं किया, उन्होंने पूरे समाज को एम्पावर किया। साथ में महिलाएं जुड़ती गई, कारवां चलता गया। एंड दिस इज द वन ऑफ द बेस्ट स्टोरीज ऑफ women empowerment. It says that you need not be educated, you need not be highly qualified. आप छोटे से छोटे चीज से भी empowered हो सकते हो, provided आपका गोल सही हो. Your goal has to be correct. एक और कहानी है मनदेशी बैंक की. ये जो बाईं तरफ मनदेशी बैंक है, ये महिलाएं द्वारा मनदेशी बैंक है. और एक और संस्था है सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड वुमेन्स एसोसिएशन सेवा. आप गूगल करके देख सकते हैं, ये महिलाओं की सक्सेस स्टोरी है. ये बहुत सारे महिलाओं को जुड़कर एक ऐसी संस्था बनाई गई so that women continue to feel empowered and they began to grow with the company. So these are all stories, but these are real stories. You also have stories from Hindi film industry. So there is a story about Manthan. Manthan is a movie which was made in the 70s by a very famous filmmaker Sham Benegal. Yes, and he showed us how 5 lakh farmers from Gujarat Cooperative Milk Federation Society, how they joined together, they formed a cooperative. And see, there's a man, Girish Karnad was a man who empowered these women, asked them to form a group, because singly women may not be able to do much, but when they are in a group, they can do. So this is one story which is very inspiring and which says that a woman can be empowered if there is a collective force. Now, if you go back to the slides, I had already told you about collective force. Singly or collective, I had said. ये वाला देखिएगा. This is the, I had said that, sorry. Yeah, individual. See, theorizing of empowerment stresses two main perspectives, individual and collective. तो ये जो मैं आपको दिखा रही हूँ मंथन मूवी वाला, ये कलेक्टिवली women कैसे empowered होते हैं. So that is the story. Then this is another story, Mirch Masala, where women, they were being exploited, they were being harassed by by a man. And this man is played by Nasiruddin Shah. He used to just oppress these women. और ये महिलाएं सब एक साथ होके वो fight, they put up a fight, knowing fully well कि वो लोग physically वीक है, वो लोग फाइट नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन उनका जो स्ट्रगल है वो बहुत सामने उभर के आता है. उनके स्ट्रगल में वो दिखाते हैं कि वो अपने दे think of certain things, how to teach that person a lesson. वो बहुत important है कि जो आदमी ऑप्रेस कर रहा है उसके ऑपरेशन के अगेंस्ट में अगर खड़े भी होना है तो एक साथ खड़े होना है. और ये मिर्च मसाला फिल्म में दिखाया गया कि अंत में मिर्ची का पाउडर डाला जाता है उन पर ताकि वो और कुछ न कर सके, क्योंकि महिलाएं जो है दे वेर ऑल ऑफ देम दे वेर वर्किंग इन अ फोर्ट, और उस फोर्ट को चारों तरफ से उसने घेर लिया था. और उन महिलाओं को धमकाया जा रहा था कि स्मिता पाटिल को हमारे पास भेज दो, अगर नहीं भेजोगे तो हम लोग ऐसा कर देंगे. तो सारी महिलाएं उसके साथ एक साथ हो गई और सभी ने मिलके ये कदम उठाया. Okay, so these are stories, these are Bombay film industry film stories. They may be inspired by real life incidents, they may not be inspired. There are many such stories, very inspiring. Recently we had movies like Thappad coming up, where the woman says that I will एक ही थप्पड़, even the mother says एक ही तो थप्पड़ था, तो why did you react like this? But the woman says, why should I be hit? अगर when the woman starts questioning, तब जाके उसके एम्पावरमेंट सामने आते हैं। सेम थिंग विथ पिंक। पिंक मूवी में भी अगर महिला ने ना कहा तो वो ना है, एंड वी हैव टू रिस्पेक्ट दैट. In order to empower that women, she should be allowed to decide whether she wants something or not. We can't forcefully get it from her. तो ये सारी चीजें जो है, ये आई थिंक दीज आर सम ऑफ द वंडरफुल movies that talk about all this. Now, I'll be sharing something with you. A woman needs love and respect to feel empowered. I hope I'll be able to show you this properly. मुझे आप बताइए कि आपको सुनाई दे रहा है कि नहीं.
सुनाई दे रहा है मैडम, पूरा पूरा सुनाई दे रहा है।
अरे यार
सुनाई दे रहा है।
क्लियर आ रही है।
मैडम ये वीडियो प्ले करना है। हेलो,
Yes, ma'am.
ये वीडियो आपको प्ले करना है मैम?
हाँ, प्ले नहीं हो रहा है.
नहीं मैडम, मुझे तो लिंक दिख रही है सिर्फ।
किसी को नहीं दिख रहा है.
नहीं, बाकी
अच्छा,
पार्टिसिपेंट्स?
नहीं मैम, नहीं दिख रहा है।
ओके,
सिर्फ लिंक दिख रहा है मैडम,
okay.
वीडियो नहीं दिख रहा है।
प्लीज वेट वेट।
अभी दिख रहा है.
नो मैडम, पीपीटी में जो आपने लिंक डाली है ना मैडम, वही दिख रही है।
ओके ओके, आई एम सो सॉरी. ये हमेशा ऐसा प्रॉब्लम होता है क्यों?
लेकिन
आई जस्ट ट्राई वंस अगेन. हाँ
यस मैडम, यस।
हाँ, अभी दिख रहा है.
नो मैडम, नॉट येट। मैडम ये लिंक आप कॉपी करके यूट्यूब में डाल दीजिए, वहां से प्ले कर लीजिए।
एक्चुअली हम तो कॉपी करके ही रखे थे मैम. तो हाँ, तो एनीवे I will just stop sharing this. Just a moment, I'll stop sharing.
यस।
Yeah, I'll stop sharing this. ओके. तो ये वाला मूवी जो है, शायद आप लोगों को सॉरी, आपको सुनाई अभी तो दिखाई भी नहीं दे रहा है, सुनाई भी नहीं दे रहा है ना.
यस मैडम, स्क्रीन स्टॉप शेयरिंग हो गया है स्क्रीन।
हाँ, स्टॉप शेयरिंग हो गया है, नहीं दे रहा है. I always have this problem, ma'am. I don't know why I can't show it. ये सिस्को में ये प्रॉब्लम होता है, जूम में नहीं होता है.
मैडम वो वीडियो अगर यूट्यूब पे अवेलेबल है तो वहां से आप प्ले कर दीजिए।
Okay,
Or play
I'll
it
just
and then share it.
sorry.
Please play the video and then share it.
फर्स्ट
You have
ओपन
to
द
Yeah,
play
वीडियो
I
the
have
एंड
video
देन
done
first.
शेयर।
that
Open
only.
the video. And then there is
I
a
have
sharing button.
okay, I have done that. So okay. So what I will do is अभी भी नहीं दिख रहा है नहीं?
No, madam.
Okay, okay. Okay, I'll just stop. Okay, I'll just stop this. I will finish with this. Is this visible now?
Madam, screen is not yet shared.
Okay, okay. I will just do that.
Yes,
Yeah.
madam. Now it is
Okay.
visible.
एक्चुअली ये जो लास्ट वाला वीडियो मैं दिखाती हूँ, दिस इज द वीडियो जो कि इंग्लिश विंग्लिश मूवी का लास्ट सीन है. इट
Yes, madam.
कम्स
Last
एवरीवन
batch में we have played that. Yes, ma'am.
या तो
Yeah.
आप अपने, हाँ, तो ये हम कोशिश किए थे इस बार अपने तरफ से, बट व्हाट आई वांट टू शेयर विद एवरीवन, और आई थिंक एवरीवन हैज सीन द मूवी, इसमें one thing that comes out very clearly is that we have to, a woman needs love and respect to feel empowered. uh, Sridevi not knowing English was not that big an issue. She learned how to speak in English, and that too she learned to speak in English in a foreign country. So that is not an issue. The issue is that she needs to be felt loved and respected. And in her family, her daughter, her husband, no one was respecting her. So she was not feeling empowered. Now, the thing what I want to convey last is that a woman actually feels empowered when she has the support of her family, when she gets a respect she actually deserves from the family. So that the family will make her empowered. बाहर जाके काम करेगी, पैसा कमाएगी, पॉलिटिक्स में जाएगी, एमपी बनेगी, या डॉक्टर बनेगी, वकील बनेगी, all those things don't matter as long as she is not empowered in her own house. So how she is treated in her own house, that matters a lot. So the women in the house should be treated with respect. So that is my concluding statement. And last, I would like to say we need women who are so strong that they can be gentle, so educated that they can be humble, so fierce that they can be compassionate, and so passionate that they can be rational, and so disciplined that they can be free. और इसी के साथ मेरा ये sharing of screen, I'll stop sharing of screen, and I will come back to your comments, your suggestions, your questions, and I'd like to take up anything that you want to share with me, क्योंकि हमारे पास अभी भी कुछ वक्त है तो हम लोग कर सकते हैं. तो anyone who is willing to just share the views, अगर होगा तो बहुत अच्छा होगा.
Participant, you can unmute yourself and give your feedback. Are you all there?
This is a very very important question. ऑनलाइन में
अभी
ये
लोग
लोग
है क्या कि सो गए हैं? पोस्ट लंच सेशन है.
वंदना मैम, यस.
मैम आपका आवाज मुझे ब्रेक हो रहा है, एक्चुअली नेटवर्क इशू होने के कारण.
बोलिए. यस मैडम, बोलिए कुछ.
मैम whole session was very informative. Thank you, ma'am.
थैंक यू वंदना मैम. बोलिए.
PowerPoint is beautifully made. Specific
Thank you.
issues in specific way and very colorful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. May I know from where you are? Are you from
I am
West
from
Bengal?
Kolkata, Jadavpur University,
Okay, and what's your discipline?
architecture.
Architecture. It's good when you all
Thank you,
come
ma'am.
for gender sensitization workshops,
Yes, sir.
and
Yes.
many myths and misconceptions are cleared in this.
Right.
So thank you so much for your
Thank you, ma'am.
appreciation. Any questions that, or any observations, or anything that you would like to share? Yeah, Ajay sir, thank you. All of you are saying good, but I would like some sharing of experience होने से बहुत अच्छा लगता है, because हर सेशन में प्रीति मैम के साथ मैंने बहुत सारे सेशंस किए, तो हर सेशन में ना लोगों के बहुत सारे सवाल होते हैं ना प्रीति मैम,
Yes, madam.
इसमें
Yes.
बहुत सारे सवाल होते हैं, पूछते हैं, स्पेशली टू डू विद जेंडर,
Yes.
बहुत सारे हाउ डू वी डील विद जेंडर, और maybe in the next class also you can ask me, क्योंकि हम लोग तब हायर एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशंस में जेंडर डाइवर्सिटी की बात करेंगे and how to deal with them. So these are certain things, I think today is the first day, Preeti ma'am,
Yes, madam.
warm up session चल रहा है, और by the time we go to day after tomorrow, I think थोड़ा settle down करेंगे, and they might have questions. I'll take up the questions.
Yes, madam.
और
Sure.
बहुत अच्छा, एंड जो बात बार बार उभर के सामने आती है, that when you talk about empowerment, it has to start in your own house. आप अपने घर की महिलाओं को empower कीजिए, give them the freedom of choice, give them the freedom of making a decision, and help them to do so. बहुत सारी महिलाएं खुद घबराती हैं, कुछ बोलना नहीं है, चुप्पी is something which they enjoy, कि नहीं ज्यादा नहीं बोलना है, क्योंकि बचपन से वही सिखाया जाता है कि बोलिए मत। तो आप अपने घर की महिलाओं को बोलने का मौका दीजिए, हो सकता है कि बोलने के साथ साथ उनका एम्पावरमेंट भी आ जाए, whatever they want to do, their own choices, especially with respect to their career, with respect to their life, with respect to their health. That's very important. And I'm very sorry I could not share with the last scene of English to English, जो कि मेरा बहुत प्रिय scene है, because when Sridevi ji is speaking, she says categorically that marriage is between equal, husband and wife should be equal. And I think all of us in this classroom, all of us are adult, mature people, so we know how to deal with the partners. So I think that's enough.
Yes, madam.
Shall I leave?
Yes,
Yeah.
madam. Thank you so
Thank-
much, madam.
thank-
On behalf of all the participants, I extend my thanks to you, ma'am. And we will meet day after tomorrow for our next
Sure.
session. Thank
Sure.
you.
Thank you so much, all of you.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
थैंक यू ऑल द पार्टिसिपेंट्स। यहाँ पे अपने आज के 2 सेशंस खत्म होते हैं। आज का जो नेक्स्ट सेशन है, जो मैंने प्री रिकॉर्डेड वीडियो के फॉर्म में रखा है, दैट विल बी ऑन डिजिटल इनिशिएटिव्स इन हायर एजुकेशन। सो यू गो थ्रू दैट पर्टिकुलर वीडियो, एंड जो भी वहाँ पे पढ़ाया गया है, मैंने आज कोई क्विज या तो कोई असाइनमेंट उसके ऊपर दिया